The Central Club.
What's going on, people? Welcome to the Central Club. Thanks for joining us. Before I start, something very sad happened yesterday. A kind of a mentor to myself, a close family friend and a business partner to my father passed away. I want to say rest in peace to Nick Fern.
R.I.P. Nick.
Yeah, obviously you've all met him, guys, and what a lovely fella.
You know, I love this episode.
It just shows that time is it's never promised for anyone, and you don't know when you'll go. So this episode is dedicated to Nick, as he did want to listen to this episode. I hope you're up there watching, mate. So today we've got a great guest. We're so happy to have him down. If any of you know about this is Choose a Life, Not a Life, L5 Alive, Darren Gee. Yeah, thanks, Dar. Thanks for coming down, mate.
Sam, mate. I'm here. Do what you want with me.
That sounded dodge, mate. Okay,
yeah,
so...
but not in that sense, like. Keep them to yourself.
So this is your first time in Cardiff, is it?
No, second time.
Okay.
First time I've stayed in Cardiff, like.
What was the stay like?
The stay was an experience.
Yeah, you did message me last night. It was a bit of
the stay, but it is what it is. Life's life, innit?
Exactly, yeah.
It was a mad experience. Keeps me grounded, mate.
Yeah, okay. So for the people who obviously don't know who Darren is, Liverpool born, had a bit of a manic life, like we all have, but probably experienced some things that no one would ever experience. And he's been in, he was in prison for a 18-year sentence, was it?
Yeah, I've done a long time in prison, mate.
Yeah, so how long you been out now?
5 years on the 21st of June.
5 years, 5 years he's been out, and I come across you via social media promoting this Choose a Life, Not a Life. Can you tell us a little bit about this for the people who don't know?
Choose a life, not a knife. It's a message. It's a powerful message. It will enter your mind and make you think about how you're conducting yourself and the others around you, how you're respecting others, and what you're doing to prolong your life free from prison, free from bars, free from the pain that gang life brings to you. You lose sight of where you're going in your teenage years. You start wondering, you know what I mean? You start wondering, you lose focus. Don't ever let your mind wander. And if you ever start losing focus on the message of choose a life, not a knife. Only if it makes you think for a second. Was that good enough?
That was beautiful.
Beautiful.
Smashed it.
So obviously, there's a lot of knife crime going on at the moment in England and in Wales. That's obviously why I brought you down here, because I think in the last year, the amount of stabbings that I'm hearing of knife crime.
Close friends.
Yeah. I think it's been hit more over the UK, your message, over England, Scotland, Ireland maybe, but not enough in Wales. We would like to obviously do something with this. Mm-hmm. So if you could obviously give us the permission for that, we would happily...
Yeah, you can do... Look, as I said to you a minute ago, this message, it's a message I deliver. I'm not I'm not the sole, I'm not the owner of this message. It's a community message. Okay. I'm here just screaming and shouting it. I don't know why. Landed on me lap. All I've done for 5 years is scream and shout about it. It's making the changes, whether the governments or the police officials like it. It's creating that change. If you just want to grab hold of it and put your narrative on it and put your spin on it, you can. You're blessed to do so.
So, go on.
I was going to say, why are you? Why is this message so close to you? Like, where have you come from to really want to promote this message, and why are you so passionate about it?
Because it saved me life, basically, mate. That's the bottom line. Like, I'm released from prison. I've got no family ties that I can remain in contact with. I'm an isolated kid. I'm about to top myself, and along my phone comes choose a life, not a knife. That split second where I've looked at it, thought about it and looked into it, changed the whole narrative of what I was about to do. So for that to change my mind, someone who's so stubborn and once his mind's made up, he's going for it to have the power to make me just go within a minute. And then from that, everything I'd done to keep me from prison, being recalled into prison, choose a life, not a knife.
What was making you think, yo, do you know what? I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be here. What was making you think like
the
that?
environment. Or what was making me think I don't want to be in the way the system isolated me. So I should have got out of prison and been pro-social and integrated with society and cracked on in this, but the system purposely drilled me down, so I became antisocial and started hating everything about the system, hating everything about my life. I was on the breadline, I couldn't eat right, I just lost my job, I'm in a house with no boiler. So it was a lot of things going on that I just couldn't deal with. And the people that was meant to help me, they couldn't help me because they were kept from me due to licence conditions. So there was a lot to deal with by myself, and I just thought, you know what?
Go on.
Is that, so doing 18 years, coming out of that, the world must have changed, your life's changed, like, how were you just really struggling to cope with that? Were you struggling to cope with that?
Yeah, because what happens if you get 18 years, so you get if you get double figures, let's say, double figures, 10 above, if you get double figures, you'll go through a process in the prison system. You get recategorised, A, B, C, D, open conditions, home leaves. I missed that section out. They refused all that section for me. So I was released from solitary confinement. So I was released from a block, straight into the police hands, GPS tracker, took to Blackburn, and then I just become antisocial from there on, you know. Destroyed me mentally.
Do you not trust anybody?
No
you?
one.
Even now?
No one. Can't even trust myself.
Do you reckon that left you with trust issues then a bit, did it?
Of course, yeah. But I think everyone learns, sooner or later that trust is given too easily now. People give respect too easy now. Every sort of moral angle is given easily now. It's not earned. So people used to earn your respect, now they take it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So everything's just becoming so loose and so up in the air. You can see everything's up in the air, innit?
Do you think, obviously I know doing a long time, some people do 2 years, 3 years, whatever. Do you think the prison system itself, though, is just fucked?
Yeah, the prison system creates career criminals, basically. If you get a child that goes into the system at 14, I'll guarantee you that child is going to be, unless he gets some serious intervention, he's going to be a career criminal.
Yeah.
And it works both ways. He's going to be in and out of prison all the time. All the shareholders that run these prisons are going to be getting wages all the time.
Keep him in there, yeah.
You see what they've done and what they've managed to do over the last decade. They've managed to make the justice system just as powerful as the Bank of England.
That's mad.
So what do I mean by that? There's that much money involved in the justice system. There's that much employment. There's millions employed by the justice system. If the justice system was to collapse, so would the economy.
Yeah. They've known that for years, haven't they? So that's why these private prisons.
When you're born, you're given a number. Yeah. The first time you enter an establishment or a custodial setting, whether that's social care or whatever, you're given a number.
Yeah.
And that number sticks with you right through your custodial career. So I've had the same number aligned to me from the age of 14 when I first went to prison to my last prison sentence. It's the same number. You on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I watched. I must have watched a podcast or you saying something on a video before and resonated so much as well. Like I believe the same thing. How these kids who come in at 14, 15, they're given their TV, they're happy, they're watching Corrie, EastEnders, whatever they're watching. And you were saying about reading books, and I totally agree with you. Like how it dumbs them down.
So that's exactly what it was brought in for, mate. That's the only reason.
Labour brought them in, didn't
it? The bottom line is this: the prison system. When I first started going, you had to piss in a pot. You had no telly. You got so much exercise, so much gym, and access to the library 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Right. So I learned to read and write in prison, not in a classroom, in my cell, self-taught. yeah, because now, back then, if an officer, like they do, comes in, hungover, fucked off his medication or whatever, takes it, because it happens,
Yeah, of course.
takes it out on a mate, on another inmate, twists him up, half the landing would protect the inmate. Yeah?
Yeah.
They've brought the tellies in as a leverage. If you help your mate, we'll take your telly.
TV, yeah.
But they didn't bring that rule in until you'd all had the telly for 2 or 3 months, so you're all...
You're addicted to it,
You're
yeah.
watching this tonight, way!
Yeah.
And then, I'll take your telly off you. And that's what it
bang
done.
on, yeah.
But that was the control angle. On the other angle, they don't want prisoners getting out educated with the qualifications to go and get employment. So the minute they put a telly in them, they're getting educated in virtual shit. It's not reality. Anything you see on the telly, it's not reality.
Of course.
You know, it's imaginary. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah,
Do you think
100%.
phones are addictive? Mobile phones. How many times do you pick your phone up in a day? Boom, boom, boom. They're feeding your brain with something. There's something addictive about it. The dopamine. In prison, you're probably sat there. You've got nothing there
Right,
to
so you know when the
stimulate
telly's
you.
weighing on in prison, guaranteed every kid was coming out there and was speaking like a professor because he'd read that much.
You had no choice.
You can string a conversation out like the next man who's been in education for 20 years. He's learned it in a year. Why? Because he's been reading books.
So did you...
Telly's coming, books go missing. They even got to the point a few years ago where they banned books getting posted in.
Yeah, they've stopped newspapers, haven't they?
There was a big uproar about it and reversed off it, and now you're allowed books sent back in, you know, because it's needed. You don't get knowledge off a telly. It's all fictional off a telly. It doesn't matter if it's Attenborough's mouth or his mouth. It's all fictional and imaginary. It's like when you come out the womb, as you're growing up, you shouted at for lying. Stop lying to me. But the minute out your womb, you're getting told there's a fat man that can come down your chimney and deliver presents, Father Christmas. Now, sorry to break your heart, kids, but there's no Father Christmas. And your mum and your dad have been lying since you were 1. At the same time, slapping you because you're lying to them. Do you understand what I'm saying? But that's entering you into a world of... that's stemming your brain to imagine things.
Of like social constructs of imagination.
Yeah, so it's constructing your mind from get-go. We've got a fat man that comes down a chimney. We've got a bunny rabbit that runs around the east and delivers eggs. We've got a fairy that leaves money under your pillow when you do. This is all virtual, imaginary to keep your kids like... Do you understand where I'm going with it? It's like part of the conditioning as they grow up.
They want to dumb you down. They just want you to believe in that and not focus on the real truth.
Everything's a lie. Like I said before, what is the biggest secret in the world? What is it?
Of course, there's a God, bro. That's what I believe in.
No.
But what I'm saying is, when I said to you before, what's the biggest secret in the world?
No one knows it.
There's a God. And what did I say? No one knows the biggest secret in the world because it's a secret.
You know when you was in prison then, obviously when you got better, when the TVs came in, was you still like, nah, I don't care about my TV? Was you still books?
Supposing I was a cleaner, I think I was 16. I'd just been put onto the adult wing like 16 to 18. And because we were cleaners, they give us ours was the first landing to get the tellies in the system. Yeah. And the tellies we got down was like little snide portable telly with see-through. Everything was see-through.
All the wires and that.
Yeah, you could just see everything, you know, so you couldn't stash nothing in there.
Oh, yeah.
But the aerials that they give you were just shit.
What was the first
So you were watching like the telly with zzz, but you were still buzzing. Oh, yeah, I got my telly.
Yeah. As you would as a kid, as you would.
Yeah,
you know,
just watching.
You don't realise what it's doing to you then, do you?
You don't you realise what they're doing to you, but you go with the flow.
Yeah.
Because it's just making your life comfortable in prison. If you're a nuisance in prison, I was a cunt in prison, mate.
What was the first prison you went to?
Well, the first type of custodial setting I went in was Dyson Hall.
Is that like
kids' home?
Kids?
Yeah, kids' home, yeah. And then from there, as I said, as soon as you enter the system,
yeah,
you're in there, you're making people a lot of money every year and you don't even realise it. Every day you're in custody, him down there is getting $5,000 off you. You don't even realise it.
Have you always lacked authority? Is that like how you were brought up? Like what was it like?
We
were you like?
We were disciplined harsh in our house, was by the dad. But we was also disciplined not to talk to police, not to talk to social workers if they knock on the door, not to talk to schools when you go into school, don't tell the school that you're getting fucking tired to the bed. So it was like, stay away from them sort of officials type people. So we were proper anti-authority. Still am. Well, I'm not as much now, because now as you mature and as you grow older, you come to realise, although they are dirty, not all of them, although they've got a pocket of dirty police in every establishment, in every force up and down the country, there's a pocket of dirty police that makes us from the council estates think that they're all rats, and they're all corrupt, and they're all batty on the streets, when they won't. But they're all dirty to me, because that's the way I'm raised, that's the way of being conditioned. But I'm also old enough now to know that they have got the work they do on our streets to protect our people is paramount. Without them, we're not surviving.
Yeah, without them, it would be a mess.
It doesn't matter if the environment's being made for us to rely on the police to protect us. It's just the way it is. Without them there, imagine how many robberies, how many rapes, how many house burglaries, how many kids are getting kidnapped, how many places would be burnt to the ground if it weren't for them standing on the front line, protecting the masses, because that's what they do, innit? So yeah, I'm anti-authority.
Yeah, you know, not even to lead the conversation into something like this negative, but you mentioned about how you were brought up, like, tied to the bed. Like, what? Do you get me? Like, you mentioned that, like...
Well, that's what mine and Danny's childhood was like. You know, we were tied to the beds, locked in rooms, whipped with belts, stuff like this.
Oh my God.
Not fit, just everything. That I'm thinking millions of us have gone through.
Yeah.
That's horrendous.
I don't think this is special to how we've been. I'm thinking loads of households around Liverpool have gone through what we've gone through as kids. They mightn't have got as severe, but they got, I think it was that generation of dads.
Yeah.
No nonsense dads. Used to give you a good smack.
Yeah, no, it is, obviously.
But my dad was on the nonce level. You know, my dad was perverted. I'm not ashamed to say my dad had them nonce tendencies. He never nonced us, but he knew nonsense was happening to us. You know what I mean? So when we weren't conforming...
What, by somebody else?
It's like he was getting paid. And when we didn't do and go where he wanted us to go, we'd get fucking belted everywhere because we fucked his graft up or something. Do you understand what I mean?
Wow.
Oh my God.
So there's been occasions where he has took us to places, and in this one occasion I woke up during it.
That's horrendous, mate.
Now I speak about this stuff and I get all these haters amplifying it. He's being nonced, he's a victim. There's thousands of victims like me.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just brave enough and strong enough to get up here and go, listen, don't be sitting there alone. What happened there, fella? You letting shots off with the guns? Did you hear that? Shots off with the guns.
You didn't just fat then, did you?
Nah, I don't even know what happened.
Oh, God.
I just told you, lad.
That's the worst. Do you know what? You couldn't have picked the worst time.
But anyway, that's what I'm saying. I'm just able enough and strong enough to go, you know what? Don't be ashamed if if an adult's affected you whilst you're a child. It's not your fault that this adult's took fucking a liberty with you. Don't sit there feeling ashamed like you've done something wrong. It's all the adults. And that's what you're seeing now, is the kids turning on adults. You're not getting a 15-year-old killing a 15-year-old these days. You're getting a 15-year-old shooting dead a 30-year-old. Or you're getting 14-year-olds stabbing to death a 45-year-old. It's kids turning on adults now. Because why? Adults have been harming kids for decades.
Shoes on the other foot.
Not all adults.
Have you got any kids there?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
So do you raise them? How do you discipline your kids then?
Well, my kid's only
He's
3.5 months?
Yeah. Quintus.
Oh, they
Congratulations.
knew that. Yeah, congrats, man.
He's 3.5 months old. Quintus, his name is.
I was seeing something about the way you named him as well, because of the
Quintus,
fifth.
it's all to do with the
Tarantino.
fifth.
He's all numbers.
It's all my number 5. It's like L5 Alive. Where did L5 Alive come from? I'm out of prison, been out of prison 18 months. As soon as my licence is up, go back to my mum's house. I'm ruffling a few feathers in the area. People are getting a bit worried because I'm back round. Someone tries to kill me. Pounces on me Mars step. This is on the 17th of March 2018. People pounce on me on the step, get me mate next to me in a taxi, put him in hospital. I go straight back in off me. As soon as it's all happened, I've gone straight back in. Don't worry, people. I'm still alive. L5, I'm still alive. And that's where L5 Alive's come from. You know, it just stemmed off them.
How did they try and kill you? What, they just with a gun straight up just tried to shoot you in that?
What's happened is I got set up by the kid who ended up getting shot. So this kid had been with me all day. He's got me to the destination, and he's come in the house with me and walked out and got in a taxi. That should have been me getting in a taxi. So his mates pounced on him, filled him up, and I survived.
What, did he die, the kid?
No, he survived because they stopped halfway. When they realised who it was, they stopped instead of carrying on.
What,
Karma,
shooting?
innit?
Stop shooting.
Karma.
2 men with 2 handguns. Yeah.
Is that on the estate you was from then, growing up?
Huh?
Is that on the? Did that happen on your estate?
Yeah, that's happened on my ma's
What
step.
was the estate called?
The Grisdale
The
estate.
Grisdale estate, yeah.
Yeah,
Grisdale.
so it was like, before I went to jail, that incident with Craig, there's 4 of us in a car, we come to my ma's, come on, so I'm only 24, 23 at this point when this is going on. Come on, we go to my ma's, there's 4 of us in a Galaxy, come out the Galaxy. My little brother recognises a car, but it's like, so I've said slam it, he slammed it, reversed, and as we're looking at the car, a gunman's jumped out and let a shot off at the passenger window. I've told my brother to go, he's let the clutch out too fast, so we're stalled on the spot now. So this gunman ran up to the window, filling me little mate up who's in the passenger seat. We'd only just swapped seats. We just swapped seats, you're on it. So we go into my Mars. I've told little Craig to drive in the front, I want to go in the back. So we come back out and then the gunman's targeted the passenger seat. No, for me. So that's what it was. That was messy. Within a month of that, I'm in prison doing an 18-year prison sentence.
So did you react? Did you
Straight away.
react straight away? Did you? No nonsense.
I never thought.
Yeah, that's it. It's all the emotions heightened.
Well, this
isn't
is
it?
what happens, and this is what's happening now with a lot of kids. Doesn't matter in Wales, London, Birmingham.
You don't
Liverpool.
think, you just...
You get emotional and you want to commit revenge and you want to retaliate because we're this gang and he's killed our thing and da-da-da-da-da-da. And you all get emotional. You're all smoking weed, all on the liquor, and you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. You're getting caught up in this energy where it's a gang energy now. It's not just my energy. It's everyone's energy singing on the same hymn sheet, so it becomes powerful and it's very hard to get away from. It's like peer pressure. People call it peer pressure. Ooh, it's the energy. It's driving you towards it now and you're on it. And then once you retaliate, your life's finished. Your life's over. It doesn't get better. You might have got justice for your mate, if you want to call it justice, but your whole life changes for everyone that was involved in the retaliation, everyone that got involved in the revenge act, the conspiracy to react to it. You all get put in jail or you all get... It's just a messy... So it comes back to choose a life, not a knife again. When you're in that mindset, when you're getting emotional, when your bird's done your head in and you're feeling like... Just gather yourself. Bring all your energy back into yourself, calm your mind down and just think twice. Don't go and slap her. Don't go and stab him. Don't go and burn the house. Don't go and just sit tight, gather you, and think about what your next course of action is, because that next course of action...
Have you got any advice for people that's in that position now? How would they get out? Because like what you're saying, the peer pressure, obviously, it's hard to get out. You could just tell someone, oh, don't do it, but have you got any like advice? Do you know what I'm saying?
What do you mean to...
Probably when you're in the height of that, is there any strategies or is
There's only one strategy and it worked for me, and this is why I promote the message. Now, I was an emotional wreck. The knife's there and ready to go. Choose a life popped up and I thought about it. Just choose your life. What more do you need to know? If I'm emotional now and I'm drunk and you're winding me up, but he said to me, I choose life, not a knife. I just go...
Do you think it took for you to have? Do you think it took for you to have an 18-year prison sentence, time on your own? What were you doing, like meditating, all that sort of thing, chilling out? It just took you time to.
You just needed time to realise who you are. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
On our estates,
I want to hear this.
On our estates, you're raised innocent. The minute you come out the womb, you're an innocent God's child. Everything about you is pure, right through to your energy, to your core. You're pure. Then the environment starts attacking you with everything, needles off the government, this, that. This is all you getting damaged, like, becoming unpure as you're getting through your life. I've lost the question. What was the question?
So the question was, is like, you're in that situation, all these social constructs, people telling you to be this person, product of environment. How?
Well, this is what I know before when I was saying, when your mind wanders, everything can go wrong. Everything. And you sit there and people go, I'm wondering what to do with this, or I wonder if I can get away with that, or I wonder if I can do this. It's the wondering that's getting you wrong. It's the wondering that's making you unfocused. It's the wondering that's knocking you off track. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't wonder about this. Do it. Don't wonder if he's going to say anything bad about me, so I better not do it. Do it.
So live your passion. What your message is meant to be, you live that.
It's the same principle of the unknown. Wondering and being in the unknown is exactly the same, mate, in my books. Do you know what I mean by the unknown?
Like what we discussed on the first episode, who am I? What am I doing here?
Everyone fears the unknown. And here's the unknown. Here's an extreme image of the unknown. Your dad's on his way to work, bang, truck smashes him, puts him in hospital. You're not hearing of him. What mindset are you in there?
He's dead. That's what you could be thinking.
You're lost.
Yeah, your head's gone because you don't know. Now, the minute you get a phone call, he's all right. You're better because you know. Now, if you're in a relationship and you're suspecting your woman is doing something, but you're not asking her, you're not confirming it, you're sitting there in the unknown.
Okay.
And all it's going to do is create messy shit that you're not going to know about. You understand what I mean?
I know exactly what you're saying. Like,
You
the
imagine the
feeling,
way
I know the feeling.
So wondering's the same. What are you wondering for? You're becoming unfocused. You're wondering, you're seeking for confirmation when you're wondering, aren't you, in a mad way? I wonder what he'll say if I do this, or I wonder what'll happen if I get on with this, or I wonder, you just, do you understand? You're losing focus.
It's fight or flight, isn't it? Like
It's
you're in
focus.
flight mode, then
Yeah, you're just losing focus. The more you wonder, the more unfocused you're becoming, and you start practicing that unfocusedness, if you understand what I mean. So the more you wonder, the more unfocused you become. You under? Yeah. The more unfocused you become, the more you practice being unfocused.
Of course.
Before you know it, you're just lost.
The more unconscious decisions you make, you just become even more unconscious. I don't know if you've read that.
It's the same. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, it is, of course.
You've
Yeah.
got conscious decisions. You've got unconscious decisions. What's an unconscious decision?
I first heard about that in Jay-Z's
What's your unconscious decision? You do that when you're going to sneeze.
Yeah.
Innit? It's a natural thing. What else you do? You like
driving, you know, just changing gears.
you've got things that you've grown up to be used to, and you just do it second to none. Like you can just, what's happening? Whereas first when you were putting the salt in, you could like, now it's just, you're all right. Want some salt?
So basically, it's like as you get older and you make more decisions, like I'm gonna stab him, I'm gonna say this to him, I'm gonna kill him. Every unconscious decision that you're making is leading up to those even bigger unconscious decisions. They just become normal to you.
Yeah, you're practicing something that's not good for you.
So leading up to that 18 years, those series of unconscious decisions, what led you to end up having that 18-year sentence?
So what happened there is, Craig's being shot, like I said before. During that process, that 6-week process after his death, everyone's emotional. Everyone's erratic. Everyone's smoking weed, drinking, upset, I weren't in control of myself right then. I was making decisions for revenge. Do you understand? I was making decisions I was just like, fuck this, let's go and get them. And the people around me didn't help me. Instead of going, swerve that lad, they were going, yeah, let's get him. You know what I mean? So my decision on that day to go and participate in the murder of that fella was group-based. And when your thought process is group-based, it manifests more powerfully. So you heard of a phrase called like brainstorm. Let's have a brainstorm. And basically what a brainstorm is us four here, topic in the middle, how can we make this work? It starts manifesting because there's 4 of us isolating it and thinking about it. And when you see these big movements, it's because loads of people are manifesting it. It's on the lips of loads of people. So when people see me going around the country and dropping leaflets everywhere, and you've got the rats hating, so what? What's that for, dropping leaflets? They're not realising what I'm doing. I know, like, I've come in touch with, like, energy. And I know how to manifest things, like I was saying to you before. The minute you open your mouth about what you want to do, weakens it. It weakens it. Whether you like it or not, it weakens the purity of it. They call it a secret for a reason. If you want to do something, keep it a secret. Keep it a secret. And it'll manifest better. And that, I've only learned that in the last year, mate. And why have I learned it? I don't know, mate. I don't know where it's come from. I had this experience. Not many people believe me. They think it's a joke, right? Basically, but this experience, this is how it went. I'm on my bed. Well, let me bring you up to it. For months and months and months, I've been waking up early hours in the morning, around 3:30, sweating me back out like I've just done a circuit. All my veins popping out on my arms, like I've just lifted weights. I'm sweating. I'm thinking, what's happening here? So I'll just get up, put a towel down, get back on my dry bed and go to sleep and then wake back up, right? But this time I've remembered. I've woke up on the bed, but I've remembered everything that's just gone on. Right, so this is what happened. I've come out, it was an out-of-body experience, basically. I've come out of my body and I'm looking at me on the bed. Yeah? So I'm up here looking at me on the bed. My body has come off the bed. Went like that, so it's floating now. Have you seen that figure? That body figure? I'm like that. And there's a hole, like fire. But it's a ring of fire, right? And as I come into this ring of fire, it's grey. It's so real, lad. You've got things on the floor, things on it's a tunnel. And so far down this tunnel, you've got a blue ring, like a blue ring of fire. Yeah? And as I'm coming to that floating, I start getting sucked in to this blue ring. Like it's like a mad force, so I'm getting sucked into it. And as I come out to the side, I'm like that now. I can feel I'm not bullshitting you, mate. I can feel this, like my arms going back. And I'm heading towards another circle, like a white one. And as I hit that, I stop dead. But a giant comes out of me. Like a cloud.
Of you?
Don't look. I hit this wall, and then all of a sudden, I just see like a big cloud popping up in front of me. And he's like, I'm watching him from behind. And as he takes a few, the whole room is white. That thing is like a cloud of a human, but massive. White with a little like outline. He was walking forward, and then out of nowhere, 5 others come out. Same sort of giant. One steps forward, then I wake up.
How do you interpret that?
At that moment in my life, when I went through that, I was about to give up on the message. I've had enough, I've took too much shit off rats, it's not getting the recognition it needs, so I was about to give up on it. You know, my life's going nowhere, and this sort of told me, I have got meaning, I have got purpose, I know where I'm going. If you want to get there, you need to start working right, you need to start conducting yourselves right. So you've probably heard my narrative change over the last few months where I've just been on this positive flow. You need to start purifying your energy, because if you don't purify your energy, you're not going to have the strength to get where we're going.
100%.
There's only so many of us getting to this place.
Yeah.
And if you're down here sharing poison, creating poison and doing all that Satanism and paganism shit, you're not coming where we're going, because we're purified. We're here
paintings,
helping the masses.
Paintings are a lot of... I've noticed you've been doing these paintings lately. Is this
That's
since that experience?
Look, you know what? I just needed to get the image. See the image I've just told you? That image I've just told you, I needed to get it off my mind. So for weeks and weeks I was saying, go and get a canvas, go and get a canvas, put it on the canvas, put it on the canvas. So I just thought, you know, one day, bam, went and got a canvas, and now I haven't stopped.
Is it?
My first image was that experience, and that's what I've called it. And now I've done 6. I've sold 2.
Have you?
I sold 2.
That's amazing.
350 quid to in Australia.
You should set up an exhibition, a charity exhibition.
Well,
Then
my plan is, because when I get focused on this, I get obsessed with it. I don't know, it's a mental illness. So when I was on my music was a way of expressing it, but it's very violent, and it was bringing back the wrong energy that I needed. So when I'm spitting this madness stuff out, it's coming back, and I can feel it. Oh, this negative energy's coming back off me lyrics. So I swerved my music, and now I'm letting me stuff out through my art, because it's colourful. And I don't know where it's coming from.
You've clearly got a voice.
Really good.
Do you get me? You've got something to say. Do you know what I'm trying to say? All this, the painting, you've got something that you want to express. Do you get me? And that is the perfect. That's the perfect thing to do.
You know what? You've got to, as I said before, we get lost, mate. We get lost at an early age. You know, we start being a lamb. You start following iconic people in your community, and they're all wrong. You know, you're looking at the drug dealer because he's got his Rolex on, he's got his nice car, and then you think he's got the boss birds, and you just start wanting to... Your judgment gets clouded, and then from 14 to 18, they're the pivotal years where you're going to go off track, in my eyes. They're the times when you're getting diluted by the older generation or the negativity around you. You lose sight of who you are and what you're meant to be doing. The best advice I can give to any kid who's got a family, because look, I can sit here and give advice to that type of child, but he's got a mum and dad at home, and that advice I'm giving him is never ever going to work with the ears of my man who lives 2 doors away from me, who hasn't got a mum, and the dad's on the smack who's in jail, he's getting looked after by his nana. It's different, innit?
There's levels.
Choose a life, not a knife. Goes to it all. I've got 50-year-old men relating to it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I've also got 8-year-old kids relating to it.
Where was your mindset at? Because obviously you're talking about these kids and where they're at. Where was your head at and your mindset and your being? Where were you at, when you were participating in that situation where you participated in a murder? Where was your head at? And like where, you know?
My head was I was caught up in this gang stuff. My head was Tupac, 50 Cent, Biggie Smalls. That's my head at that time, and I'm acting like them.
Do you think rap music's bad then?
Yeah. So when rap music came out years ago, you seen the damage done. People were saying, no, it's not the music, but it was.
Drill. Look at drill now.
It's drill now. It's just a new version of rap. When they pushed rap out to the masses, don't forget what music is. We know what it's for. So when they push it out like that, it was rap. It was targeting the black communities. Look what it done. What did it do? Just had them all shooting each other, had them forming into gangs, had them all forming into this on the back of rap music, this. Now you've got drill. And if you look what's going on in London with that drill music,
Terrific.
It's spreading now.
Also, as well, though, the drug, the music as well now, they're talking about sipping lean, taking Xanax. So
it's all
you've
wrong.
got these kids taking drugs from it as
It's
well.
all wrong. You've got kids over here participating in the activities of Americans where they're drinking this codeine, add a little bit of Fanta to it, and they call it lean. You're basically a smackhead if you're drinking codeine, aren't you, mate?
100%.
It's opiate-based. All these medication that are opiate-based, it's derived from opiates. Opiates is heroin. So that's why you get addicted to like cocodamol. When you go to the doctors with a bad back and he goes, oh, there's some painkillers, and you can't put them down after 3 months. It's the opiates within the medication that you're addicted to. It's same with codeine.
When you can't get that bottle of codeine then, or that bottle of morphine, you're going to score smack round the corner.
Yeah, you're rattling.
From there on,
it's all control, isn't it, lad? What can you do except not touch them? You know your body, like you get kids now, I've got a toothache, and you get the ma going, get them 3 tablets and you'll be dead in a minute. Yeah. When your body can deal with it, you know, you go through that one occasion where your back tooth is proper killing you. Don't take your medication. Get over it. You'll never get a toothache again in your life. That'll bother you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
We're always dumbing things down in me, whether it's antidepressants, whether it's painkillers.
Oh, I'm stressed. My computer's broke. I'm stressed. Yeah, there's a pill. Just deal with the stress and then you won't get stressed that easy next time. Do you understand?
When you was talking on your Instagram and whatever it was, one of your socials, you was talking about unity, Obviously, I'm a big football fan. Most people are, or they're a rugby fan or baseball fan, whatever. And you was talking about these teams, these cities against each other. Can you just go over that a bit about like the unity? Because I think it was so strong.
Right,
what
so
you were
you've
saying.
got, how many football teams you got in Wales?
Well, we got one, Cardiff.
All right, so you've got
No, we got Cardiff,
But
Newport,
straight
Swansea.
away,
It's Cardiff, Swansea.
straight away there, just you showing the division football creates. They straight away with a Swansea fan. So you don't like Swansea. You're a Cardiff fan, obviously. Yeah. So straight away, you've cancelled out 1,000 men from your city because they wear a Swansea shirt.
Oh, no one in Cardiff wears Swansea.
But
I know in South Wales, itself,
you understand where I'm coming from, don't you?
If there was a derby like Liverpool, Everton, I know what you're saying.
It's the same anyway, up and down the land. Look, Chelsea, Arsenal, whatever, Man U, Man City, Liverpool, Everton, Swansea, Cardiff. It doesn't matter, does it? What I'm trying to point out when I made that comment is this. All right, just say this country, say Wales did go off its cake, like it did in Swansea the other day. Say everyone just goes, right, we've had enough. Who are you going to be fighting, mate? The government or the men of Swansea?
The government.
How? How can you fight the government from that angle and then fight it from that angle?
No, I know what you're saying.
You're divided.
Yeah, you are right.
And you're divided for years. You're divided since you were born. You're divided through your dad and your granddad. That's how long the division was put in place for. It hasn't just started. You know, they divide cities with football.
Yeah.
All you loyal football fans mightn't like what I'm saying, but the bottom line is football is there for division, not to unite. It'll unite that gang, but it's dividing that gang. It's like
the boozer up the road to that boozer there. That's
exactly the same mentality when you've got Sunday League teams and you've got the taverns playing the Brunels or something, and there's that division. It's that on a mass scale. On a mass scale. So basically, in Liverpool, you have got Everton men who live 2 doors down from another man that lives sports, and they'll argue over football. They'll even argue amongst themselves over Arsenal. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you'll have these two scousers arguing with themselves over something that's irrelevant to them.
Yeah.
That's football dividing you, definitely.
So you're from Everton, yeah. So have you got any experiences of Anfield back in the day? Because it's obviously
I've got loads of experience, yeah.
Did you see any of the legends?
Yeah, I've interacted with quite a few. John Barnes, Peter Beardsley. I've had 20 quid off Graham Souness.
That's class.
How did you get 20 quid off him?
So where we are, Anfield's grounds, like the coffee shop from our front door when we were growing up, yeah. So it's just there. So we always used to play on the ground. And where we are, you've got extensions. You used to have like low extensions in the back gardens. So we used to just run across them extensions, no take chase off the house owners and that.
Garden hopping.
But on Alroy Road, right next to the ground, you used to have the players' entrance. And we always used to be on these extensions and we're just there, they're having a meeting or something. And on the door there, we've got this fella called Steve Clark, big fat fella. Used to live on our estate, Gary Clark's dad. He used to be the bouncer. So he's there and we're giving him shit, you know, and it was causing murder. Next minute he comes out with some fella with a big fucking muzzy down here and a perm. It's only Souness. First time I'd seen £20 notes and that, on it. Get this and go away.
No way.
That's amazing.
That's true, that, mate. It's fact, that,
yeah.
That's mad.
Do you?
There's another one with Steven Gerrard as well, mate.
Yeah. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, years later, we're just floating around the area, Kirkdale, floating around, and out the blue, someone goes, there's Steven Gerrard there. And we go, what? He's only pissed as a fucking, you know, just pissed as a fart, stood outside the 24-hour garage, his shirt's open. I'm just looking at us, watching at me, and just thinking, you're a victim, you need to get in this car. He just got him in the car, dropped him off.
Didn't rob him?
No.
What
It's
a
a scouser.
Yeah,
now you would have got rats, look.
Who would have
every
been on it?
city
Yeah,
have
of course.
rats.
Yeah, of course.
And Liverpool's the worst for them, mate. You know, 80% of the city are lovely, caring, got the morals intact, and you've got to select 20 that'll rape your daughter, kick your front door in, rob the watch off your granddad's wrist, cut his neck for a chain. No, it's all this dirty, nasty stuff.
Yeah.
And that's you get everywhere.
You obviously love your city. You're obviously not living there at the moment. Do you want to go back home? Like, do you want to live?
Yeah, I'll be back there, mate. I haven't left.
No.
My body's left, my energy's all over it.
Yeah, well, of course it is. It's our
My
five
energy,
alive, isn't it?
my energy's all over Liverpool. My energy's pure, so it travels far.
When you leaving Liverpool, going to prison, what was the feeling like of when you were stood in court and they were like, they sentenced you, like, and then you were going there? What was that whole thing like? What was going through your head, like when they said you're going down for 18 years?
Well, I was getting told you're getting 35 years.
So it was a touch.
So in my mind, so say I get arrested 2004, I'm in custody for just under 3 years on remand, no convictions, just on remand. So during them 3 years, I condition my mind into I'm doing a 30 rec. Whilst I'm on remand, I've already put it in my head, I'm getting a 30 rec. You know what I mean? So your mind's a powerful thing, mate. Your mind can overcome everything it's put in front of it without substance misuse. The minute you start using substances to overpower your brain, that's when you're going wrong, that's when addictions form, and that's when you start going down a downward spiral, because they can't handle the pressure the brain's given to you. If you deal with that pressure, not many people have felt the numbness of the brain. The people that have felt the numbness of the brain will know what I'm referring to right now. If you felt that numbness in your brain at them depressive times and them moments, you're entering places in your brain that no one else has entered. And it's making you different. It's giving you something unique that no one else has got. I've been to that dark hole a few times and felt that numbness a few times. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
If you were doing 30 plus years, like, what were you thinking? Like, oh my God, like I'm actually doing 30.
So when I'm getting told by my legal team, this is borderline contract killing, so the judge is looking on giving you 30 to 35 recommendation. That was mandatory for the crime, yeah. So where I'm settling in my mind, I'm getting a 30 rec. Now what do I want to do here? Do I want to carry on smoking weed, carry on doing this shit, and then get out when I'm 60, not even able to have a hard on? This is what's going through my mind.
Of course it is, yeah.
When I'm getting sentenced, what do you mean?
Like when you said, well, I'm not getting a...
How do I want to get out at the end of this? This was what is in my mind, right? Do I want to get out, piss in a bed like most 55-year-old men that are full of stress and can't look after themselves?
Yeah.
Because this is what happens at later years, no one realises, you know what I mean? Or do I want to get out, still full of energy, skin looking young, you know, do I want to stop smoking the weed? Do I want to educate the brain? Do I want to keep myself sharp? Do I want to get out the other side of this fit and strong and able to fuck a woman? And that's the life I chose in prison.
Honest, you look 10 times better now than I see. I know everyone's mugshots are bad, but I've only seen a mugshot of you from when you've done that. You look $1 million to now, like.
I'm not photogenic, mate. Like you're saying I look $1 million.
So you were studying then,
Put a spliff in me, lad. I look like $1. You know what I mean?
What? So obviously, right, you know, you've done 18 years then. You thought you was going to do 30, you've done the 18, touch in your eyes maybe. You went in 2004, so you
Big touch in my eyes, mate.
No?
Big touch.
Big touch, yeah, of course.
Obviously.
So you
think about it. I'm sat there for 3 years, put it in my head that I'm never getting out of prison, and when I do, I'm going to be in my 60s. It's there. I've accepted it. I'm living my life like I'm never getting out of prison.
Yeah.
To all of a sudden having a release date.
Buzzing.
You know, so when the judges turned around to me and said, blah, 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 your crime was committed pre-2004, so you're under the old law. Uh-huh. So, right? Now, all my legal team and everyone are saying I'm under the new law and I'm getting 30 to 35 rec. Now, the judge has shocked everyone when I've been found guilty and go, you're under the old law, and I've got two choices, a discretionary life sentence or a long determinate sentence. Discretionary life is if he thinks you're a threat to the public and you've committed crimes left, right and centre, he can life you off.
Yeah.
Discretionary life under the old law. If not, he'll give you a long determinate. So we looked at my previous violent offence was against a prison officer, and that was a threat towards a prison officer where it said burn your house down. But because the house never got burnt down, the judge said I weren't a threat.
That's mad.
And give me a long determinate sentence of 18 years.
So
it's gone from 35 rec to hang on a minute. I've got a release date here in 12 years. I can be free in
Something
12
to look
years.
forward to.
So
Yeah.
you can imagine the elation,
I
can't
can
you?
use my
Yeah,
penis.
of course.
I was bouncing all over the cells, but obviously a month later, a letter comes through the door. They're not happy. They're appealing. They want the L plates. So they went to the Attorney General, but the Attorney General fucked them off.
You know when you was in there then, yeah? So, sorry, going back to what I was trying to say. So obviously, BlackBerry's come out, iPhones have come out, the technology's changed, Facebook. Now, you're all over social media at the moment. Like, how did you adapt from that? Because obviously, when you was in it, you might have had a little tech.
I haven't adapted.
You haven't adapted?
When I went to prison, none of this was out. I've come out of prison, and the only thing I've had to keep me company is a phone and social media. So I'm living through my phone. The telly's the phone. You know, I'm in this house with no electricity, but I managed to charge my phone up in the gym when I go to the gym. So I'm living through my phone, you know. So it's just, I just ended up on Instagram. I'm just being myself on Instagram. I'm just being myself, and everyone's latching onto it. They like my personality, they like my character. But when people are starting to like me, my old enemies are hating it.
Yeah.
You know, 20-year ago enemies, and now 2021 enemies for nothing. Leave it behind. You know, get off me back. I've got pure people trying to drag me back into that.
Well,
into that level of consciousness.
Fair play to you for trying
I'm above them. That's the bottom line here. I'm above them, and I've only just realised I'm above them in energies and moral capacity and the level of thinking. I'm just above them all. So why do we even entertain them anymore? So I've just stopped entertaining them all. You know it?
Do you know what? There was a mad saying, a mad quote that I read once, and it said, you know, it's something like, you know, people you were close with back then are sort of, they struggle and they hate you because they can't see how you've managed to do what they can't. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's you know, it's so true what you're saying.
I'm making a lot of people envious.
Yeah, of course, man.
There's a lot of kids out there who haven't got the balls to change themselves the way I have. It takes a lot for you to turn your back on a life that is painful but easy. Do you understand what I mean by that? The gang life is very painful but easy. Easy in the sense of
financially,
your money's just coming through.
Yeah.
And everything's sweet. And you're not arsed because you're making dough. But the pain that you suffer as you're going through that stuff, it's just... I'd rather be skint and painless, you know, instead of a millionaire and full of pain.
What, so you personal trainer? Because I'm watching your videos.
Oh, I'm a good trainer.
You're all good tuned. You're flat out. You're looking quite hench and whatever. Do you train people?
I encourage people to train. I motivate people to train. I inspire people to train. I don't get paid for when I'm giving them that information, like the majority are just money grabbing people.
Yeah.
I'd love to. I can train anyone. Give me 12 weeks with anyone. I will have you in a decent condition. But the risk towards me brings risks towards them.
Yeah, of course.
So if I've got you in a park with me Monday, Wednesday and Friday morning, people will find out, and say on the Wednesday morning they come for me, they might get you. Okay. So to prevent that sort of stuff happening, I just pull away from it.
Funding, there's no funding going for this now, is it?
No funding off this mess. I've got www.l5original.com, that's a clothing line, but I don't focus on it because the amount of money Choose a Life Not a Knife receives to the amount of money the fella receives who's producing the t-shirts and stuff, it's not sitting good with me. So I'm not focusing on it, you know?
Yeah. The L5 gear, is that new out of hat you said in it? Is it by new?
Yeah, it's all it. All that stuff's
good
there,
quality.
but it's all about CULLAN UK now. It's the same thing, Choose a Life Not a Knife, but what you're going to see in the future is this on clothing.
Nice.
So it is what it is. That's where I'm going with this.
I think you've gone on a lot of podcasts, you've gone on a lot of shows, you know, not going to name any names and stuff like that, and it has ended up turning out negative, and it has ended up turning out to be, you know, there's been a lot of hate and stuff like that, and what we wanted to do by bringing you here wasn't to do that. We wanted you to basically, you know, tell your story and go in depth as possible and talk about really what you're willing to talk about without trying to sound like we're hounding you about it. Do you know what I mean? But there's people out there who want to know more briefly about your journey and more about like, you know, the things that you've seen and stuff
What
like
I
that.
need to do basically is sit down and have a 2-hour interview with someone, or 2.5-hour interview with someone, where I go from there to there, deep. This is more like
Piers Morgan.
it's interview.
Yeah, of course.
It's not therapy.
Yeah, of course.
Now, if the situation was more therapy based, then you'd be getting a lot of deep emotions coming through.
Yeah.
It's the environment we're in and the questions that are being answered that you're not touching that fire.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I need to go in a deep state of emotions and then let it all out, and then that's when you're going to get the fire.
Yeah, of course. That's kind of what we were, you know, that's why we brought you on here today, really. It's more because we want to...
We never really touched it though, did we? I mean, we touched on, you know, I'll give you a brief, but it was a brief, a minute about that there, a minute about this here, a minute about there, when really it's like a book.
I think that's
you need
what,
to get
yeah.
a book. You need to get. You need
Well,
to
I'm
write a book.
I'm doing a book. I've currently been writing a book. I've had a ghostwriter. She's gone missing. The book's still there, but she's gone missing. It was meant to be released on the 21st of June. It's a pre-order on Amazon. Loads of people have ordered, but it's not going to get done. I haven't got the ability to get it
definitely
done.
need to do that
I haven't got the I just can't get it done. I just need to be putting the words onto paper and go ahead.
So it's just literally the funding. That's all you need.
I've got the ability, but I just haven't got the patience to do it no more. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't
Well,
be bothered.
You're boy in hand now as well.
I'm not after your money, people. I'm not here to sell you a book to make money off you. You know, people have encouraged me to write a book. That's why I'm thinking about writing a book.
You never thought
But
of it before.
I'm no big important person that thinks I should get a book out. I'm not important enough for people to read my book. That's my mindset.
Obviously, you have gone through quite a mad story though, and is it like what we're doing this for, mental health and that? It's relatable stories like that is what help people in those positions. You know what I'm
Mental
saying?
health, lah.
There are people who are watching this and have messaged us about, you know, I was suicidal. Where, you know, there are people who have been suicidal messaging us and stuff like that, and have said this is inspiring me. And you know, I don't know how you felt in prison during that time, or how it relates to you, because the suicide rate in Wales is the highest in Europe, bro. So, you know, like...
Well, I remember, mate, when I was in prison, and I was up here, actually, it was in Park Prison, and there was an episode in Wales, I think it was, I'm not sure, it was Swansea or...
Bridgend,
Bridgend, and there was, it's like something happened, like 7 or 8 suicides on the back of each other, all in this little town.
It was a cult, didn't they? Like,
Where was it?
Bridgend.
Yeah, so I was thinking, wow, but what you're not hearing now is, because everyone's caught up in, oh, me job, thousands have committed suicide in the last 2 years. All ages, male, female. The amount of kids that are self-harming is through the roof. Do you understand what I'm saying? And we're not even at the thick of it. We're not even at the thick of it. Everyone's got to be unlocked fully soon, and that's when you're going to see the real damage to what's gone on through this lockdown. Everyone sort of gets in their own little area, sorts it out, becomes relaxed, gets their mind sorted in a certain frame, and then all of a sudden, bang, it's got to jump into another frame. It's got to jump into another mindset, and that's when stuff's going to go crazy. So you hear the police now, up and down the country, oh, crime's low, gun crime's down, murder crime's down, rapes, because we've been locked down. We've been locked down, that's why it's low, not because you're doing a good job. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Soon as everyone's unlocked, watch how worse the crime is compared to what it was 2 years ago. Watch how violent it is, watch how frequent it is, watch how more visible it's become. You on it? So that's what you're going to witness over the next year. As soon as the unlock's meant to be on the 21st of June, isn't it? Full unlock. From then to Christmas, there's going to be murder.
Well, summertime, innit? You know, everyone's going to be out.
There's going to be murder, and I mean literally up and down the country. You got people with disputes that need settling. There's been a lot of drug money took out the picture in the last. There's a lot of serious organised crime going to be hitting the streets in the next couple of years.
Why is it that, you know, of course, you've got this your charity that you're pushing heavily. Why is it that you're not looking for the support of the police, or why is it that you're so against that? Because I heard you on an interview saying that, like,
I'm not against the support of the police, mate. I know you keep on hearing me that the police, but you've got to understand what the police are like in Liverpool.
Even from your own personal experience, what happened to you where they framed you.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So let's put the police into context in Liverpool, right? How can I put it? The police in Liverpool will go through your door. They will put drugs on you. They'll put bullets on you. They'll batter you till you're bruised and you're damaged. They'll drag you out the house. They'll put you in jail. They'll take you to court. They'll put you on trial. They'll lie in court. They'll lie on oath in front of the biggest judge in Liverpool. And then they'll be found guilty of lying, perjury, colluding, conspiring to pervert the course of justice. This is what Merseyside police do. They done that with my older brother, Billy. It's fact how corrupt Merseyside police is. That's just one incident. I'm telling you now, there's easy 50 incidents a year of corrupt policing in Merseyside. You just don't hear about it. So when I'm screaming the police are corrupt, I'm screaming about Merseyside police. I'm not screaming about South Wales police or Derbyshire police or anything like that. I'm coming off my experience from this police force and from the early age where I've had policemen battering me, putting items on me and locking me in a cell for nothing. No one can tell me that the police force isn't corrupt. You understand what I mean? So I don't, as I said before, the police have a vital role in this country. Whether we like it or not, whether you're a gangbanger or you're not, they've got a vital role. When I start shouting dirty police, I'm on about Merseyside police. Not every police officer on the land. Because even in Merseyside police, you've got some real decent Scouse men, proper family men from Liverpool who work within the police force, and they're genuine, and they hate but tolerate what's going on in their ranks, because it's that type of group, and it always has been that type of group. Protect our own. You know what it's like, that group mentality? It's like on the streets. When you see these gangs operating with protect our own, you damn, it's the same in every group setup. Protect our group. Doesn't matter if you're law abiding or not. The motto's the same. Protect our group, secure our unity, and that's what they do. At any cost. Hence Hillsborough. Let's look at Hillsborough now, bro. They've been hiding that on us for over 30 years. Not giving us the proof, not giving us the truth, not admitting the faults. And before we can get anyone brought to justice like Norman Betterson, they retire from the force on full pay. Can't be prosecuted. But it's fact that he was going round doctoring statements. You know what I mean? Indicating that it was the Liverpool fans that done all the damage, when it wasn't. It was the police that done the damage. Do you understand what I mean? Scousers will never forget it. Even last week, they tried to brush it under the carpet. There's a new breed of Scousers that will not let that go.
Of course. And
if we don't get the justice that we want, this new breed of Scousers will show you. And it won't be an immunisation protest, or it won't be council tax protest. It won't even be a protest. It'll just be the city of Liverpool Council getting smashed to pieces if we don't get justice. Because you're all right standing on the steps, Andy Burnham, like you're doing us proud, but you're a councillor, you're an MP, you piss in the same pot as them bastards that labelled us all liars and said we were robbing the dead. You still haven't done nothing. You're getting all the accolades, standing up there, shouting this, shouting that, but you're not doing nothing for us. We'll take it by the neck and we'll show that government in London exactly what Scousers are like, and we won't take a slap for it, we'll take a broken neck for it. That's what Scousers do. We won't tolerate your bullshit no more. We want justice. If we don't get it for what we need it for, yous aren't going to rest easy for decades. The new generation of Scousers will show this government exactly what we're all about. Do you know London is not even the UK?
In what sense?
What do you mean by that?
London is not the UK. Did you know the Queen has not got sovereignty over London?
Was it the city of Westminster, something like that?
No, London is classed as an international city. It's not classed as the UK.
What?
That's mad. I didn't know that.
Well, you know now, the Queen has got no sovereignty in London. None. It's classed as international.
Why do you think that is? Like, is that like some sly move they're doing?
They're just things they haven't told us.
Yeah.
It's like London is the biggest corrupt financial department in the whole world. Laundering billions of pounds worth of drug money. It's not part of the UK though. That's fact. I'm not spitting nothing that's not fact here. You understand what I'm saying? London is not part of the UK. It's classed as international territory. We haven't even got all our money that comes from us and ends up in London is going international. We don't even own it. We've got no financial department in London. Do you know that? It's all mad. This is what I'm saying. It's all fact. Look it up.
Yeah, definitely. Powerful, man.
I was shocked then.
I
was shocked.
Love it, man.
Look, back to
Melting in
Hillsborough.
my chair, man.
Back to Hillsborough. People outside the city of Liverpool mightn't really relate to it the way Scousers do. But we were raised on estates, mate, where, you know, friends' dads never came back, and we've seen the hate and the pain and the destruction what them lies have done. You know, they never just rested in peace, mate. They got blamed for robbing their own people. We got blamed for pissing on them. We got why? To protect the police and their shit. Why? Because the police made dirty mistakes and covered it up.
I feel like every 5 years there's like a resurgence of it, but they still haven't got an answer from it.
We're not going to get an answer from it unless they realise, and gone. It's gone too far. I will be a political prisoner. Thousands of us will. On the back of this. If we don't get justice for this...
So is there something in the pipeline? Is there something in the pipeline coming soon?
This isn't going to go away.
Until this... Yeah.
It's only been calmed down the last 3 years because we had this inquiry, that inquiry, this inquiry. We had Andy Burnham saying we're going to get justice at it. No, we never. We haven't. We still want it.
Yeah.
It's not going nowhere. You know, our kids are getting raised and taught about the injustice the police and the government have done to us.
They're automatically hating them.
It's not just that. You've got the riots, you've got Thatcher stopping this, you've got... Liverpool's being targeted a lot by the government, and we're still getting targeted now. We're the only place in the country that had army issuing vaccines. We had the army on the streets of Liverpool doing testing.
They're scared, obviously.
It is what it is, because they know Liverpool is a different breed.
It is.
We will stand up and we will take it to the government on a different level. I don't want to start going militarised here and start speaking all militant.
What?
I've stopped watching football, mate.
To be from Liverpool, so passionate about your city,
yeah, of course, man. Yeah,
for you to not be a fan,
listen,
you must believe so much in this.
I was deep into football.
Yeah.
That's all prisoners do. Footy.
Match of the day.
Yeah, match of the day. This, that.
Are there fights for that as well in prison? Like, are they like
side gambles? Course. People outside gambling
and that. Yeah.
I was on it. But then you just look.
Did you realise that when you came out of prison then?
No, I've knew this for years, but I've just tolerated it.
Yeah.
And now my mindset's changed. It's like, hang on, if we want to make a difference, you've got to stop fighting.
Yeah.
What's making us fight? And I'm just identifying the things that divide communities.
Which is in our eyes.
Football. You know, you'll have a top fighter from there and a top fighter from there. It's only one man each, but he's got 5,000 followers and they're divided. Just off that one man, power of one man, dividing them 10,000 men. Now imagine them 10,000 men together. You cannot fight something this powerful, this government, with fractions.
What do you think of the COVID lockdown then? Do you think there was, people got their theories and that? Did you believe there was another motive to it?
It's just the pursuit of technology in my eyes. Now
when we close down now, when we come back, there's going to be...
What do you mean by
going to be vastly... Well, yeah, what do you mean?
Well, pursuit of technology, mate.
What, in developments?
Yeah. So now, this has all got through, this is all filtered through, we've lost masses, we've done whatever, but the ones that survived it are going to get access to some crazy shit.
Like Bitcoin, you talking about that sort of
Ignore
stuff?
all that. That's just going to crash. That's going to make a lot of people dependent on a government in about 2
Well,
or
they're
3
trying
years'
to make
time.
a one world currency, and really.
It's just going to crash. That's there to crash.
Sorry,
Like
Tom.
money. You see, years ago, you see the stock market used to be backed by gold. So a pound would be backed by gold. So you could go and sell a bar of gold and get your £2 back and back it, yeah? Now it's not. Cryptocurrency is backed by nothing. Just a load of numbers. When it crashes, it crashes. You can't go and get the gold and revalue it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
When people lose their computers, and I like that guy who had like fucking, how much did he have on there?
He had about
£250 million.
£100
He lost his computer in a tip in Wales, couldn't get it back.
Yeah.
He was offering people at
But
the
that's how
tips
easy
to get
it
the
is.
money it is. Isn't it?
Right, but that's how easy
That's
it
not
is.
safe, is it?
It's not safe because the people who are controlling your money now, you're all thinking, oh, it's a private company, crypto's nothing to do with that government, this government, that government. It's governments that's controlling it all, right? So everyone's just putting the money into the coffers of the government, and then what happens if a satellite goes missing?
Yeah.
It's just like that computer going missing. Exactly the same as that computer going missing, only this has got billions in it, not just his money. It's got everyone's money in it. Gone. What can you do? Government's telling you we've had a bad mistake, it's all gone, we've lost 10 billion, that government's lost and all yous have lost, we're all in it together, new currency. That's my opinion.
I can't remember who it was. I seen someone saying about the crypto, and he was like, if you found out who was the owner of Bitcoin, you'd go nowhere near it. As if, like, you know, the guy who made it, some slimy guy.
They're all slimy, aren't they? Well, let's
Yeah.
look at them. Look at Google.
Do you think rich people are bad then? Like you were like against capitalism? Like is that sort of thing? Like do you hate people who are like mega rich, like Jeff Bezos?
I hate people.
Well, not hate people,
I
but
hate
like
people.
dislike it.
I hate people that are materialistic.
Amen.
You can be rich, mate, but if you're materialistic, you're a different rich. You're a different rich. I'm rich. I'm richer than anyone in this room.
Yeah.
Experience.
I feel.
Yeah.
Anything.
I've got inner
Experience,
wealth
value.
that can fill 10 banks. You're on it. You might be sat there with £1 million in your bank, but your inner wealth's at 20%, mate. Doesn't matter how much money you've got in the bank, you're 20% for me. Your money doesn't influence.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't influence.
Never-
Like,
yeah, we weren't born that way, was we?
no one really understands inner wealth. Inner wealth. Do you know what inner wealth is? Give me a few examples of inner wealth.
Well, of course, like inner peace, bro. Like having inner peace. Do you get me? Which is what my
That's
faith.
the
you
end
got.
game.
That's what my faith brings me. Do you
Yeah.
get me? Inner peace. Do you get
So
me?
your faith is Islam.
Yeah.
Speak to us about it then. What's the core message?
Of course, it's you know, submission is sort of like that's
Submit
what
to
that's
God.
what Islam. Yeah, of course, you're following the rituals. It's like what is a religion? A religion is just a ritual of things. You know, if you're say you run a gang, you have a ritual of things. That's like a religion. You know, you get your drugs, you do your thing, you act a certain way, your character's a certain way. Loads of different types of religions. You've got Buddhism, this, that, and whatever. But it's a ritual of things that you do in a day in order for you to function correctly and find that inner peace that you want. Find contentment, find love, like you're talking about. You're trying to find love. All I wanted to do was experience love and be able to show love to other people. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And that's what my religion brings me. That's through carrying out those acts and rituals that I do every day. This is very brief, by the way. But it allows me to share love. It allows me to share love with individuals, and you know, and
So is it love and peace then?
of course, man, yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
But a lot of people say, how can you say it's peaceful when there's a lot of violence surrounding it?
Of course, what you've got to understand is like the word of God. To proclaim something as the word of God is a powerful thing. When you say this book here is the word of God, that's a powerful thing. And for somebody to then say, well, I've got the best interpretation, I know what it means, and I'm going to tell you how to enact that. Now, if that guy's got a bad agenda...
False prophet, that.
No, forget that. If I've got a bad agenda and I'm using that powerful thing that I and you all believe is the word of God to do what I want you to do, what's that going to do? It's going to influence your soul or your heart to do the things that I want you to do. Do you get me? That's what happens. It's the same with any religion. It's the same with the Christians down in Africa. It's the same with Buddhism, you know, when they were burning and killing people. It's the same thing. You get a couple of wrong-uns, with bad agendas who push their agenda and use the word of God to be able to influence you.
I'm with that, mate. I'm with that. But I'm definitely with that, mate. So
that's the answer to your question.
Islam, the core message is
peace and unity.
Peace and unity.
Like you say, which is, it's crazy that we're going on to this, because I had a question for you, because time is getting on, and I do want to ask you this, yeah? You're big into unity. I see you always saying, and you even said in your video that, you know, Islam was the power and the strength in prisons.
It is.
How do you think, as a human race, yeah, what do you think we need to do going forward as a collective? What tips would you give, basically, to bring those elements to the human race? What would you do?
What would I do to bring Islam
peace and
Christianity?
In Islam, not Islam. No, not in Islam. I don't mean like that. Like, but the same, like, unity and love and connection. And what would you do? Yeah.
What would I do to bring us all together?
Yeah.
The first thing is find common cause. You need a common cause. If you haven't got a common cause, it's pointless coming together. So, for instance, if, hypothetically speaking, we both have an enemy, we've got a common cause here. Do you understand? It works better.
But if there's an enemy, not everyone's together.
It doesn't need to be an enemy, though. Yeah. It needs to just be agenda, bro. Like, it needs to be.
It can be an agenda.
It could be like, right,
but every agenda,
peace, love, like less. Do you get me?
Every agenda's wrong.
You're doing something for
it's an agenda. It's deliberate. You're deliberately manipulating people.
Yeah, I know
to
what you're trying
in.
to say. Like a topic or a why. A why then. Like, why do you want to set this up? Why do you want to set it up? You want to inspire people.
I want to. This is basically. I'm looking at it. So I can become militarized quite easily. So when I'm talking about Univision and talking about what I'm about to start saying to you now, it's with an enemy in mind. So the government is an enemy.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I think it would be.
Now, you don't think that. Now, let me finish. But there's 10 of you that do. Do you understand what I'm saying? So there's more people in this country that they believe the government are harming them than helping them. Well, more.
I think there's a big grey area there.
In what sense?
Well, I don't think it's all bad. I think there are people out there.
All right, well, let me put it this way. Then for you. Us scruffy people, and there's millions of us in this country, us people that aren't fed properly, us people that are raised in households that's violent with drugs and drink, all us believe the government have been hurting them for a long time, and there's millions of us. The only thing that's dividing us is religion.
No.
What else?
I think the problem is, you think the religion divides you. I think people can get too deep in it for sure. But if you forget the name of it, look at the principles, bro. Do you get me?
Yeah.
It's a set of principles, not even rituals. Rituals are the physical thing, but it's a principle. It's your character.
Yeah, exactly.
Your character, yeah, how you conduct yourself and carry yourself. Your why is love. You want to do it because you love everyone. You want everybody to love each other. But your character is the thing that, you know, you need to improve. You start at where you start in life. We said this on the other episode, but it's up to you to change your character.
It's your experience that gives you character.
Of course, yeah.
You can't do nothing with your experience.
But it's up to you what choices you make to have those experiences.
Obviously, yeah. But you get some experience that you just out of your fold. You might be out having a nice night, mate, and all of a sudden you're gang raped.
That's true. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's true.
So it's experience that creates the character. And now it's obviously the character that's going to carry himself in it. The point I'm making is this. Unity in war is different than unity in a game of football. Do you understand what I mean? Now, when I start talking about Univision, that's just the community come together, put all differences aside, colour, race, beliefs, Univision. Let's look after the youth, let's protect the children,
You know,
it does, because everything goes deeper, it never stops, it snowballs.
But it depends what they're fighting for,
so really, so you're saying, yeah, to answer my question that I had for you originally, Your answer is we need to come together as a collective, forget whatever's going on, because all of it's a social construct, it's a load of rubbish. We need to come together, and the ultimate why needs to be we need to respect each other, come together and actually look to, okay, we've got our issues, put them aside, how can we better humanity, how can we better our current situation as a collective?
We're lost in a long, long line of history, mate, right? We're born into a plan that's been existent before we were even conceived. We haven't got a clue. We get brought out into this image and we think that's the way it is. And we have done for ages. Everyone's starting to realise, hang on, we're working and dying. No one's shouting about it. People are just awakening to what's going on.
The 9 to 5 rat race.
Yeah, what they've had us in, what they've conditioned in. You've got to eat at 8, you've got to eat at 12, you've got to eat at 5, you've got to eat at 8 and then go to bed at 10. That's why we're conditioned from an early age. It's conditioned.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's not normal to be doing what we've just done for the past 40 years. And now we're realising it. And the ones that are realising it are telling the kids, you don't need to eat at that time. That's why you're seeing kids now having a tea at 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
So on a grand scheme of things, it's all about like getting rid of the social construct.
And all I try and choose a life, not a knife. It can work in your community, it can work in theirs, it can work anywhere. Yeah. Choose a life, not a knife is a message that's penetrating every mind. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. You're still relating to my message.
Choose a
Our
life.
message. Choose a life, not the knife. What's the knife mean? The knife's an umbrella. It's not just a knife. It's an umbrella thing. Don't batter birds. Don't wreck that old woman's house. The morals that's gone in the last 15 years on your estate, where an old woman could come out of the house and go to the shop. Now they're scared to come out once it's dark. This is the type of stuff I'm targeting. Yeah. Why are our communities so full of fear? Because of 10 drug dealers. Why are our communities got police flying up and down all the time, people getting shot left, right and centre? Because that drug dealer's fell out with that drug dealer.
You need to come together.
You need to come together to solve the problem. If you can't solve it, what's the best way to solve that issue there?
They need the people like you. Really, they're trying to outcast you, yeah? But
they're outcasting me because I'm speaking the truth. But if you look back in history, mate, I'm not bigging myself up here. I'm not arsed. I'm not in it for money.
But they need the people like you in those rooms speaking to them.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Because it's truth. The bottom line is it's truth. And if you speak truth, there's a lot of fake people out there and they don't like hearing the truth, especially when it's aimed at them. And if you're sitting around this table and in your mind thinking it's okay for drugs to be sold to a 15-year-old, or it's okay for that 18-year-old to be cocaine given to her every fucking week so that 40-year-old man can have sex with her. If you think that's all right, you're just as bad as them. You're one of them. You're one of them people that's staying at that level. You're not at this level of consciousness. You're not thinking straight. If you're down there thinking it's normal for your kids to go into school where someone's being shot up outside the school, you're stupid. It's not normal. But loads of people are going through life like this is just the way it is.
Just look at we need a higher perspective. Really. Yeah, we do.
It's next level of consciousness. Yeah, there's only so many people who are achieving it at the moment.
So really, would you recommend then? So one of the things you probably recommend maybe is have some time to yourself, like actual just stillness. Be on your own, like you were in prison. If anything, it was easier for you because you had the opportunity to do that.
Look, when you're by yourself, what people seem to do, mate, they seem to turn as soon as they're in a bit of trouble. Bam, bam, get on the phone. No one's dealing with it. No one's dealing with the shit. They're always relying on someone to help them in some sort of...
Or something
to help them get over it, instead of just going through that depressive mindset, going through that pain. You've just lost your wife for 10 years. It's going to ruin you. How much energy you've just lost in one hit. All that energy you've put into that woman is just gone. It's going to take you time to replenish your energy. The energy that needs to be going in there is the good energy. But if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I'm never going to survive, I'm never going to do, it comes back because you don't tell people that. You only tell the people you're going to do and I'm going to achieve, so it never manifests. You never tell the people, I'm feeling stressed out here, I'm feeling destroyed inside. You're not sharing that, and it's manifesting more because you're not sharing it.
What you reveal, you heal.
Like I said earlier before, the best way to manifest things is keep it to yourself. The minute it comes out your mouth, the purity's gone of it. That's my opinion. Doesn't have to be yours, doesn't have to be anyone else's. But the bottom line is, you self-manifest better when you keep it in. And it works right along the line. So what do I mean about that? If you self-manifest that you're going to do and achieve this goal in a year's time and keep it that secret.
And work at it.
Keep that secret to yourself. Don't tell no one your objective. Don't tell no one your goal. And keep working at it. It'll manifest and it'll come through. Guaranteed. Keep it a secret. But on the other hand, if you're sitting there depressed and you're saying, I feel like killing myself, or I feel down, and all this depressive attitude and all this stuff, if you keep that in, it's going to manifest just as much as the objectives you've set yourself would manifest. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What do I mean?
Well, what you're trying to say is that whatever you self-affirm to yourself is going to manifest for you.
Exactly. Now,
So,
when you hear this message of share a problem is a problem halved, right? When you see people down, and they're really down, and you're trying to get into them, and you're going, share it, you'll feel better. If you've got to cry, cry. I've been there loads of times with different types of people where they're crying on my shoulder, yeah? And the reason they're in that condition is because they've been manifesting it. They're sitting there quietly,
Thinking
saying
about
to
it.
themselves, I'm depressed, and you don't like to tell people that shit because you feel ashamed of it, so you keep it to yourself, not realising you're manifesting it.
It comes down to gratitude, really. What you're grateful for. Do you know
piece.
what? We'd actually, God, the time is just flying as well, bro. It's a nightmare.
Well, round up then, if you
Well,
feel
no, well, listen. If there's anything you feel like you want to say, a message out there to anyone, especially in Wales, obviously, because we're a Welsh
Just sum it up in
podcast.
one sentence.
Yeah.
What is it that you want to tell the people of Wales, bro?
the people of the people of Wales, South Wales, there's a lot of depressive energy going on. A lot of people are getting depressed. A lot of people are unsure where their life's going. A lot of people are feeling suicidal. I've been there. I've been on the edge. I've got a brother that's topped himself, and I've got another brother that attempted to top himself. All I can say to you is this: don't give up. Don't think that this is your life and this is the way it's going to be. This is a process. If you understand what I'm going to say now, this is the first stage of your life. You're going to get obstacles placed in front of you. You're going to go through pain. You're going to go through trauma. I encourage you to challenge them. Don't give up, because once you're past them, the energy you get off that is so pure, it'll drive you to wherever you need to go. Suicide is self-manifested. If you're thinking about suicide, speak to someone. Don't feel ashamed about it. If you're feeling that you're getting down too often, too much, share it. The way we've just been speaking there about self-manifestation, don't self-manifest negative nonsense. Don't do it because it comes true. If you're sitting there with all these negative things to yourself, it's going to manifest. Share the negative stuff and keep the positive stuff, and it'll work better for you. That okay?
Bro, it's been a class time.
And always,
Thank you, mate.
sorry mate, choose a life, not a knife.
L5.
L5, man.
Thank you so much,
L5
mate.
alive.
Honestly, Darren, that means so much. And just one more thing before we go, I just want to say a big thank you to Kinnell Coffee Shop for giving us the sponsors, and Safe Precision Hair Care. Thank you so much again, Darren. Really emotional, really powerful, and hopefully we can get you down again.
The Central Club.